Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 608, Premier League Week 1 Roundup. Hello, Big Chillians. Welcome back to the Big Chill Podcast. Frank, joined as always with Eddie. Eddie, how's it going?
Yeah, things are going well. Premier League back underway. Well, a weekend of football under my belt, so things feel better. It was a weekend with things to do for the first time in a few weeks.
I know. I was so excited. I woke up as early as I could on Saturday and Sunday to watch as much Premier League as I could. It was very nice.
It's also nice because some years you don't kind of have all of the major European leagues come back at the same time. And admittedly, it wasn't completely across the board, but like La Liga coming back, Ligue 1 coming back, it kind of felt even better because you really did have a full set of games for, entire days. And even last night across the sort of multiple major European leagues had, 5 or 6 decent matches.
Yeah. Yeah, a pretty good start for me. I told you I won my first 2 in-game parlays. I was very excited. Lost the third one, but in heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah, it's good to be off to. I guess in a lot of ways, it was the Premier League was pretty straightforward opening weekend. All the favorites, if you kind of think that City, United scraped through in the end, but got there. Brighton were pretty heavy favorites against Luton. They won comfortably. And Arsenal winning as well. You sort of would have checked most of the boxes. And, if you were ambitious, someone like Newcastle, you could have thrown in. So it's the other leagues that were a little bit less predictable, with Barcelona drawing and failing to score in their opening match of the season, and PSG drawing 0-0 as well.
That wonderful
and Benfica,
PSG.
and Benfica lost last night. So there were some mines in and amongst the European leagues, but Premier League went to form.
Yeah, and actually some really fun matches to watch. So Friday with City was a good one to watch, and then Liverpool-Chelsea I thought was a great match. Pretty back and forth. I mean, for a second I thought Liverpool were going to cruise, and then all of a sudden I thought Chelsea were just gonna sweep it up in 5 minutes, and then next thing you knew, it was a pretty even match the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think both teams will come out of that with some negatives, but also some positives, particularly Chelsea on the back of such a bad season, to feel as if it looked like they could compete with.
I mean, they scored. That's got to feel
already
great.
An improvement. Yeah. And again, also having fallen behind, and especially there was the disallowed goal that would have put them 2-0 down. At that point, it was having been sort of somewhat confident in their chances this season on the preview, I was feeling an instant bit of regret at that stage. I was like, oh, this is
when they almost
Chelsea.
went down 2-0, I was like, oh man, this Chelsea team sucks.
but they bounced back enough that I think there's encouraging signs for them there. I mean, by the time the window is over, at this rate, they'll have signed another 25 players anyway. So we don't know what the Chelsea team will look like.
Over the 1 billion number now in the last 3 years, I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, we've got Simon Jordan and others coming out and trying to praise them with how they are exposing loopholes in the financial fair play system. It's getting, some accountants really excited about how you can, manage depreciating assets and deal with those. I mean, it's interesting when people who love sports can get so into a particular topic or a particular sort of team that they then will look into something that they otherwise would be bored to death by. Like the fans who will be poring over sort of end of year statements, like, well, what was the profit loss like? How were they, registering that asset over the course of the last 12 months? All of that suddenly football fans take a keen interest in, yet you ask them to look over a spreadsheet relating to their work. Couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie, you did, of course, leave out Arsenal, who looked pretty good for most of that match.
Yeah, although, I mean, there's a few teams who have some bad news coming out of the opening weekend. Arsenal are not alone in that respect. It looks like Timber will be out for a few months. It's reported he has an ACL injury, so that's
Oh, it was reported he
bad.
has an ACL.
Oh yeah, sorry. Good news for him. He still has an ACL. So that will be a concern, and obviously for them, on the back of, you know, they haven't made a lot of moves in the transfer window. So for one of their new signings to be out, to instantly be out for a few months, will be disappointing. Obviously, the really big injury news from the weekend is Kevin De Bruyne, who looks like he's going to be out for 4 months after
With a
picking up an
hamstring.
injury. Yeah, a hamstring injury. Yeah, which raises the debate, as we discussed off podcast, is this an Eddie curse? Because you asked me the question, what would it take for City to not win the title? And the first thing I said was a serious injury to Kevin De Bruyne.
I
Is
think
that?
you said a left hamstring injury to De Bruyne in the opening match. I'm
I think I
almost
did.
positive that was what you said.
I think I said season-ending injury early in the season. So this certainly doesn't qualify as that. But I mean, always the concerning thing about a hamstring injury, right, is he could
Yeah.
do that now
And
several times over the course of the season.
I didn't read fully into it. Isn't this the same hamstring he injured during Champions League final anyway? So like it already is kind of showing that it could be a nagging injury that could last longer than expected.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, again, City are so lucky in the respect that they have such a big squad that they can manage him to a great degree,
Yeah.
and they can be in a position where he doesn't need to play in most of their matches. The interesting thing will be to see if this affects their transfer activity over the final couple of weeks. Like, is this a sign for them to go out and pick up another kind of creative midfielder? They've got good cover in central midfield, but they tend to be more the workhorse defensive midfield category. And this might be the moment when they now go out and pick up someone who can kind of run the show a bit more from them, or they
Or
change the way they play.
is this Phil Foden's time to finally step up and earn those 5 years of trophies or whatever it is that he's gotten?
I mean, it could be, but he's not going to fit in central midfield, right?
Yeah.
So they can
They're gonna
they
have to
have
shift the game plan a little bit.
yeah, and they have enough quality and enough depth. They can easily do that. It's just, do you really want to go through that process? These early season injuries, they are not the same as getting Kevin De Bruyne missing the final 4 months of the season is way more impactful than Kevin De Bruyne missing the opening 4 months of the season. For starters, we're only a couple of weeks away from an international break anyway. So it's always whenever people talk about like he's going to be out for a month, it's like, okay, so he's actually out for 2 weeks of the Premier League season. Like, this is not as bad as you're kind of making it sound. So already you kind of get that, and he'll have 2 international windows in the time that he's out. So it's not catastrophic. They don't need him for the Champions League group stages. There'll be some Premier League matches where they will miss him because he is a big difference maker for them, but they'll be okay. I don't think this is going to derail the season just quite yet. But in the formula that could lead to City not winning the title, this is, item one. And if there's a Haaland injury that follows not long from now, and another couple of injuries, then it could become an issue.
Wow, I had no prompt in asking you about that one. So if that happens, we know it's a Hewitt curse.
Maybe.
Speaking of Haaland, Eddie, did you see the new statistic he has now earned in the start of this year? He is the first player ever in Premier League history to score both the first and the second goal of the entire season.
Okay, it's super specific, but yeah, I guess it's kind of interesting.
I knew you'd like that.
It's also different because it's only in the last few years that they've had the opening night fixture.
Yeah.
Previously, there would have been a number of matches going on, which would have made that a lot harder.
Exactly. But a great stat nonetheless. Another one to put on his mantle. Speaking of Haaland, Eddie, I know you like to do a little trivia and get quizzed. I saw on Instagram through my just running through some of the reels yesterday a video of someone nailing about 15 of the top international goal scorers for their respective country. So he was given a country and he named who the top goal scorer was for that country. You want to give some of them a shot?
Okay, so it's just the top goal scorer of that particular country, just one for each.
Yes.
Okay, I can give it a go. Yeah.
Okay. Portugal.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Argentina.
Oh, I'm gonna say Messi, but I feel less confident in that one.
Messi. Poland.
Lewandowski.
Yep. Belgium.
Oh boy. I'm tempted to say Lukaku, but I'm trying to think. I'll say Lukaku.
Lukaku.
Okay.
Brazil.
Ronaldo.
No.
Not Ronaldo. Is he still playing?
Yes.
So it's Neymar.
Tied with.
Is the other player still playing?
No.
Rivaldo. Romario. Oh, Pele. How can I not
There
name
we
Pele?
go.
God, that's ridiculous.
You're doing much worse than this guy did.
I got one wrong so far, technically, but yeah, keep going.
Okay.
That's embarrassing one, though.
That is kind of embarrassing. Germany.
Okay, this is an interesting one because they have a player who has the most goals in World Cup history, World Cup finals history, but I doubt that he is the. Can you give me a second to think on Germany, and can we go to a different country first?
Okay. Trinidad and no, I was kidding.
Dwight York.
No.
Really?
No.
The all-time leading goal scorer for Trinidad and Tobago is not Dwight York?
Stern John.
Oh, shit.
Uruguay.
Cavani.
No.
Suarez.
Ireland.
Robbie Keane.
Yep. Ivory Coast.
Didier Drogba.
Yep. United States.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Clint Dempsey.
Tied with.
What's his name? Big forehead kid. Landon Donovan.
Yes. Okay, I'll do a few more. France.
Giroud, isn't it?
Yep.
He broke out recently.
Netherlands.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Patrick Kluivert?
No.
Dennis Bergkamp?
No.
Ruud van Nistelrooy?
Nope.
Oh, boy. Is he currently playing?
No.
Is he a forward? Because I don't know if I'm going to go down the sort of Arjen Robben route. It's a forward.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think I'm...
Robin Van Persie.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad one.
Okay.
Wales.
Ryan Giggs? Gareth Bale?
Yep.
Shit.
Here's Finland.
Finland. Jari Litmanen.
Recent.
And he's Finnish? Come back to this one.
You should know that one. Do you want to go back to Germany?
I'll give my guess on Germany. I'll go with the fact that he scored so many World Cup goals, so I'll go with Miroslav Klose.
It is.
Okay. He played forever,
Yes.
too. Okay, Finland is recent.
Yeah. I mean, technically still playing, but giveaway, he's now in the MLS.
Timo Pukki.
Yes. I'm trying to think if I can think of any more cool ones here.
I'm surprised you didn't test me on England. See if I embarrass myself.
I think that one's off the table. Okay, Mexico.
Oh, Chicharito?
No. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Under his real name. I'm assuming.
I know. Took me a second to click. All right. Australia.
Tim Cahill?
Yeah, nice. Do you know that for your hatred of Millwall?
I never was I respected Tim Cahill. I was never a huge fan. Even at Everton, I was never a huge fan of his. I didn't like the punching the corner flag celebration. I always found it kind of annoying. But
not too bad. Pretty good.
I did okay. The Brazil one is embarrassing. And actually, I think the thing is, I'm reasonably pleased with some of the more obscure ones that I got. Yeah. But I missed.
I tried to keep it mostly European.
Not being able to get
Chile.
Oh.
Sits right above Van Persie and Cahill in total goals.
Really?
Yep.
From Chile? Give me a second to think of that one. Okay. Chilean. Oh, is it Alexis Sanchez?
Yeah.
Okay. It shows you how stupid in a way though the all-time goal scorer listings are, because it so much favors modern players and just the amount of football that's played.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you only have Pele of the names we've gone through as anyone, outside of the last 20 years. Miroslav Klose is kind of impressive. I mean, he's going back a while, but at the same time, Germany haven't had any truly great goal scorers since he's left, so he's kind of been fortunate in that respect.
In fairness, in the top 10, there are several that are older, but they are from not very well-known countries.
Well, I mean, the big one is the Iranian,
yeah,
who Ronaldo only recently surpassed. Yeah. In the
number 4 on the list is Indian.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this
number 5 is Malaysian. Number 6 is Hungarian. One more. I forgot. We forgot a major European. Spain. That's a pretty good one.
I mean, again, it's tough because it favors. I got to think of how it favors the recent players. Is it a forward?
I just lost it. Yes.
Raul?
No.
David Villa?
Yeah. Yeah, not too bad.
I mean, yeah, I'll do okay on those questions. As I said, I'm just embarrassed myself particularly with not saying Pele. That's a terrible one. And not being able to think of Van Persie is bad, even if that wasn't my first guess. But I mean, for listeners, this would just teach you, like, if you're in a pub quiz and it's a question along these lines, you have to name a player from the last 10 years. Yep. Like, don't overthink yourself and come up with some smart ass answer of a player from 1970s. Like, just
don't overthink it.
Yeah, just be like,
Lukaku is the golden example of that.
Yes. or even Alexis Sanchez. You're just like, who's the
Yeah.
most famous Chilean player? That's probably the answer.
Yeah, Giroud as well. I think Giroud is just really surprising for a country that has such a history.
Yeah, I mean, Mbappe is going to
He's just
break
been
it pretty.
around. Yeah.
Mbappe is breaking that within like 3-4 years, but it's a cool thing for him to hold for a short period of time. And, you know, when he broke it, you got to see that really emotional video with his brother.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that on social media.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Because his brother was like wanted to be a professional footballer, and then had his career derailed by injuries. And then he told him, there's like a video message where he told him that in his eyes, he was the greatest player in the world. His brother speaking to Giroud there. It's nice. I wouldn't take it seriously. You know, like it's a little bit like it's like your mother telling you you're really, really great at something. You know, you can't really take it to heart.
So I guess wrapping up Premier League. Major overreaction, week 1. Any predictions or anything that you'd like to alter or change?
So if I was going to go for the biggest overreaction, it would be that Manchester United looked really quite bad yesterday. And so...
Wait, are you saying they don't look good, or are you saying that's an overreaction people are taking?
Well, both. They didn't look good. And there are people definitely overreacting to how poor that performance was. And they got lucky. Obviously, they probably should have given away a penalty in the final minute of injury time when Onana kind of lost the plot a little bit and came out for a cross he probably shouldn't have gone for, and just smacked a player in the head. But
I'll give you my overreaction.
Yeah,
that I'm on board with. Newcastle are going to threaten for a title.
Yeah, I think that's an overreaction. But again, I think in a sense what they showed.
I mean, we're going to find out really, 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 really soon. Because they play City next week.
But even then, it's going to be a Kevin De Bruyne.
It's too early, right?
And yeah, they drew with City at the beginning of last season as well. It doesn't. You can't judge City based on the form they show in September, October, November. Like, it's not what matters. It's, you just know over the course of 38 matches, they will go on possibly 2 runs of winning 10, 11, 12 matches in a row. Like, that's how they're going to get you. So City, I'll say this now to listeners, City are going to drop points at some stage in the opening 6 or 7 matches, possibly multiple times. And then people are going to overreact to that fact. That is definitely coming, and it might start with this. Like, in a sense, I hope Newcastle don't beat City, because then we are going to have to listen to a couple weeks of.
Oh, you're going to listen to me.
Yeah,
they're my new team now.
But I do think, reinforcing what we said in that kind of predictions and preview episode, they are just going to be very, very good at beating anyone who's worse than them. Like, they are just ruthlessly efficient, and I
like the mentality, man. They're kind of gritty, a little mean, you know, like they're physical. I watched almost all of that match, and they're a fun team to watch. I mean, their defense is physical, you know, like they play really fast. I loved watching them. Like, that was a good match to watch. I was impressed.
Yeah, no, they were probably the most eye-catching team from the opening weekend, I guess. I mean, Brighton were impressive as well, and and you know, you kind of always expect that maybe there's going to be the season where everything doesn't work for Brighton. They only beat Luton, but they did look very good. Aside from that, I mean, I guess if I wanted to give other overreactions based on the predictions I made, Nottingham Forest looked all right against Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I have them going down, and I guess that's probably not the performance you want to see from a team you predicted to be relegated, but it's the first week of the season, so I'm not going to read too much into any of it.
Do you want to change your opinion on Haaland? He's already got 2 in the hole.
Yeah, no, because in a sense, I
love it. I love that you just bite every time. You can't not respond.
Because the other thing I did see was I saw Alvarez start. And,
yeah,
you know, the other part of the reason why I thought he wouldn't break his record is because I think Alvarez is going to become increasingly involved. And to a certain degree, I don't know how to interpret what the Kevin De Bruyne injury how that will impact that. There'll be one part of me thinks Kevin De Bruyne out. They will rotate the rest of their squad less, so that the kind of that drop off is not as exposed. Then the other part of me thinks they now have to more selectively manage when Haaland plays to a certain degree. So there is a greater chance of Haaland being rested while De Bruyne is out, as they make sure that for big matches they have to have Haaland available now. Whereas they maybe could have thought, as long as we have either Haaland or De Bruyne, we have the two players who are real game changers for us at the moment. So that will be the interesting one to kind of monitor. Obviously, against Newcastle, Haaland's going to be playing, no doubt about it, right? So, but no, I'm not going to change my prediction. All right, what else do we have to overreact to? I guess in a transfer update world, there's some speculation that potentially Mo Salah might be going to Saudi Arabia, that he might be the latest domino to fall. He obviously makes a huge amount of sense, being the most high-profile player from that region of the world. So, I'm sure someone that's high on the list for the Saudi League to land, but he also signed a new contract with Liverpool. So unless they are really willing to pay a truly outrageous sum of money, I can't see it happening. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I didn't have much else.
And
NFL season.
Well, and Neymar did sign.
Oh yeah,
for Saudi Arabia. He signed for Al Hilal, I think it was. So that's another player. Saudi Arabia seems perfect for him. There's some players who I'd be critical of.
Did you see some of the stipulations? I forgot about that.
No, I didn't.
So some of the supposed perks in his contract, he has a private plane at his disposal any day. He has a mansion given to him with a full staff 24/7. He has an 80,000 euro bonus for every team win. And $500,000 or euros for every post or story he puts on his social media that promotes Saudi Arabia.
Wait, are you serious?
Supposedly.
I guess that's within, they've probably agreed to a set number there. Like, he can't just one day wake up and post 55 times and then invoice them. Like, there's obviously hey, you're going to post twice a month promoting Saudi Arabia, and in exchange, you're getting 500,000 per post. That bit doesn't surprise me, because that's probably what it costs to advertise on, to get a paid tweet or post from Neymar anyway. Like, that doesn't seem that outrageous to me. But in a sense, most of those clauses don't surprise me. Like, I would have obviously expected them to get him a house and staff. That would have just been a given. And the plane, that I would have kind of expected that too. I mean, they don't care about the oil cost, right?
Do you think he still just lives in Paris and then just commutes every day?
That would be great. I think he'll be back in Brazil a lot, right? I mean, he's spending a ton of time in Brazil, even playing for PSG. He'll still go to Carnival. He's going to still have the injury in February that sees him in Brazil for 3 months. That now he has even less incentive to not do that. But the real question that comes out of that is, like, PSG do not look like, with the current squad that they have, there is a real possibility that they could even not win the league. But certainly they don't look like serious contenders in the Champions League, which, I mean, we've never really considered them to be in the past anyway, but you kind of at least had to mention them. Now I see no reason, certainly until they solve the Mbappe problem. Like, if you're not going to have an engaged, involved Mbappe for the remainder of the season, this is a team that that looks there for the taking if you're Marseille or any of the other kind of aspiring French clubs. And certainly there's going to, if you're going to the Champions League group stage draw, that's now a team you want in your group. Like they're not a group of death, member.
I mean, I didn't watch the match, but when you look at the stats, it wasn't as if it wasn't one of those classic PSG absolutely dominated and missed 7 goals, hit the post 4 times. It just they looked pretty flat from what the stats could tell and what the commentary that I saw. That's scary. If that's how they're drawing matches and it's not the classic, they should have won by 6.
Yeah.
Because then at least when they had that, you knew that they were going to drop these random matches in the domestic league. But then when it came time to the Champions League, they would step up and at least put in an actual effort. But if this is their effort, then come Champions League, like it's not going to be scary at all.
No, and they're betting a lot. Like Dembele coming in and being a effective player for them. I mean, there's a reason why Barcelona were happy to see the back of him. Part of that obviously is financial, but he never really made a major impact there. So, and even for France, he's not always looked particularly great. So, yeah, it is a seriously weakened team at the moment, but then there's every chance that they go out and sign someone for 50, 100 million euros in the next week or two, and things could change. But yeah, they do not look anything special right now. All right, NFL news. What have you got?
I don't got much. I have an interesting, not even a statistic, but an interesting fact I read the other day. I don't know if you had seen, but people were talking about the Niners and the NFC championship game they lost. And I don't know if you saw, but it was surfaced.
Do you really think I didn't see this, Frank?
Phillip Rivers was prepared to sign with the 49ers if they had won that NFC championship game.
Yeah, I feel like the headlines that came out of this are a little bit misleading because it makes it seem as if like the 49ers contacted him mid-game to say, hey, do you think you could play in the Super Bowl? Whereas the reality is...
No, see, here's the reality. The reality is they contacted him and said, hey, can you make it here by halftime?
If only. They might have won that game. But, the true sort of series of events is that when Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, they contacted Phillip Rivers because that was obviously before they felt confident in Brock Purdy. So they were looking at the reality of Brock Purdy potentially not being very good, and they needed someone they thought could get the job done. And so Phillip Rivers was the person they reached out to say, would you be interested? Or one of the people, I suppose, we don't know who else they reached out to. Would you be potentially interested in playing for us? And he said yes. And then they stayed in touch with each other over the remainder of the season. And obviously that means that in all likelihood, had they somehow won that game after Brock Purdy got injured, then he would have been the starter in the Super Bowl. That would have been a huge... I would have loved to, in a sense, have seen that drama, because even in reporting this story, a lot of people have overlooked it. Like, Jimmy Garoppolo was supposedly days away from being able to play. Like, it was already controversial that he kind of didn't suit up for the end.
That he didn't play. Yeah.
So for the idea that if he had become healthy again and that they would have brought Phillip Rivers in to play instead of him, that would have been... of all the Super Bowl stories in recent years, I think that would have been as big as any of them.
Yeah. Oh man, I would have loved to see Phillip Rivers in a Super Bowl.
And
just the interviews alone of leading up to just, like him just randomly showing up on the Niners for a Super Bowl would have been so good.
Yeah, we were definitely denied some interesting interview questions and some...
the major issue there is there wouldn't have been enough hotel rooms left for his family.
Yeah, it is true. And then the other Niners quarterback news, right? Brock Purdy has the starting position locked down. Is expected to be fit and ready to go for week 1, and it looks like at the moment Sam Darnold will be the backup. That Trey Lance.
Well, that's because Trey Lance looked awful.
Trey Lance is going to be
his first game
in the 3rd spot. I will still be intrigued because they did bring Trey Lance in even at the, last season in some creative ways to kind of exploit the threat that he poses in the run game. I'd be interested to see if
you mean the sack game? If they just want to get an 8-yard loss, they just bring him in.
Sometimes the game's too easy. You just move them back for 8 yards. Open up. Sometimes the field gets too short. You can't get really creative in the play calling. So Trey Lance comes in as the X factor, takes them back. It's like when they talk about in golf. Sometimes you don't want to be too close to the green. Actually being 50 yards away is more awkward than being like 110. And Trey Lance is there to help the Niners solve that problem in football.
Yeah. I mean, did not look good. I think he was sacked 4 times, and he had a touchdown pass that was how you call it a touchdown pass and not an interception with a fumble for a touchdown is so debatable, but
that's just how good he is.
Yeah.
Defenders scared to catch the balls he throws.
It looked as if the defender was playing hot potato with the ball.
On the cricket side of things, some news that I'm sure is going to excite you. I don't know if you saw it, but with the cricket one-day World Cup on the horizon, and with England set to confirm their squad for that World Cup tomorrow, Ben Stokes announced that he has come out of retirement for the one-day squad. So he is available for the World Cup, and you have to assume will be included in the squad, which is interesting.
Yeah. Where is it again?
India.
It's going to make tough viewing.
No, it won't be that bad for you. It'll be like middle of the day, mostly for you. It won't be terrible. I guess it depends. The day-night games, like the primetime games, which will be day-night in India, will be early morning, but not like you won't have to wake up at ridiculous times of the day.
I'll be able to see the end at least.
Yes. You'll be able to see all of the second innings of every match if you want to. First innings, for some of them, might be a bit tough, but yeah. It's not too bad.
You only really want to watch the chase anyway. Chicks dig to chase.
So, what else do we have? For all the sport coming back this week, it's been
relatively quiet. Yeah. I mean, you have a few weeks until NFL officially kicks off, so then things get a little crazy with NFL and European football all at once. But yeah, otherwise not too much. I started watching Perry Mason.
Okay.
I watched season 1.
That's interesting because I'm just started re-watching, I never finished The Americans. I gave up. I gave up on the Americans kind of season. I think there's 6 seasons. I gave up like during season 5, and I didn't really give up. It's just like one of those shows where at a certain moment in time, you just sort of stop watching and then you never start again. So with a lack of things to watch, I'm finishing The Americans. So. And during it, I thought to myself, oh, you don't see, what is his name? Matthew Reese?
Matt Reese,
like, you don't see him that much. But Perry Mason.
But people love him.
Yeah, he's one of those guys people are very happy to see.
Yeah. And I think, I'll tell you, that's another story that makes him look better, is that he's married to
Kerry Russell.
The woman in
Kerry Russell.
Yeah.
Why does that make him look better?
I don't know. I think that's like people love that story, like, oh, and he met his wife on the set of the show that they both like broke out.
I don't know if it makes him look better, but what it is, it's one of those annoying facts everybody has to tell you, even though it's like super common knowledge. If you see what I mean, like, especially when The Americans was big, everyone had to say, in real life, they're also a married couple. It's like, yeah, we've all got this by now. Like that, this is not some secret that they've been hiding from the rest of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, Perry Mason is a good show. It's got like that 1930s vibe to it, so it's pretty cool. They do a decent job of kind of getting that atmosphere. It doesn't have, so it's HBO, but it's Max. So there's a little distinction. You know, you can tell there's a little bit of a cutoff in the budget. So some things kind of look a little cheesy, but for the most part, it looks pretty cool. And they do a good job with like the set design and the costumes and stuff, and the way they talk. Some of the things, like I think yesterday, I called someone a rube.
That's a good word.
Like, did you just call him a rube? And I was like, yeah, I've been watching a lot of Perry Mason. The other one the guy uses a lot is boyo.
Okay, that's a good one too.
What do you got for me, boyo? So I want to start using that one too.
I have a TV show to recommend. No longer being made. So this is...
So it's not Only Murders in the Building?
No, it's an Australian TV show. Available on Disney Plus. 3 seasons.
Uh-oh.
It's called Mr.
It's already a warning sign.
It's
Disney Plus.
Well, no. It's not a Disney show. I guess it was just
Okay.
picked up by, it's on their streaming, falls into their sort of... It's called Mr. In Between. It's excellent.
Okay. What's it about? Give us no spoilers.
He's a kind of like muscle for hire hitman who also he also get to see his personal sort of day-to-day life at the same time, hence the kind of Mr. In Between name. So you both see him at work, but you also see it's a sort of Barry-esque, but less. It has humorous moments, but less absurd.
But not a comedy.
It's definitely a comedy, but it's not absurd. Like you could kind of, it's realistic humor. Like you could see, if you told me, I mean, again, imagining it's totally real life, probably not. But whereas Barry is impossible, right? With just how extreme everything got. This is actually somewhat realistic, I suppose. So if you liked Barry, you probably enjoy Mr. In Between. Might require, for our American listeners, may require subtitles. I guess that's the one thing.
Yeah, other than that, I started Only Murders in the Building, but it's only every 2 episodes a week, I think, or 1 episode a week now. I don't know. So so far it's okay. I think it's going to be one of those shows that starts to run out of steam. Like season 1, it's really cool that Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez are like this quirky, odd couple. And then season 2, it's like, oh, they're back at it. And season 3, it's like they're still fucking friends.
I mean, the premise is right. I've never watched it, but the premise is that they are only like solving murders that occur within their building, right? Isn't that the...
Yeah. So they actually had a good joke about it for season 3.
Okay. Because season 1, it makes sense. But as you go on, again, the premise becomes more and more absurd. But I mean, that's most crime shows, right? I mean, it's how people are.
Yeah. But they kind of tie into, like, they like acknowledge the absurdity of that.
And there's nothing wrong. So I mean,
fine.
Everyone always makes fun of, in the UK, a show called Midsummer Murders, which is set in this like rural, idyllic village in the middle of nowhere in England that has horrific crimes occurring on a weekly basis that are being solved. And that's not supposed to be like a humorous TV show. It's just, hey, this is the murder capital of the world, and it just happens to be a village, a rural village in England, and no one addresses the fact that a lot of people die and get murdered there. Like the next week, it's just on to, isn't life great here?
I mean, why can't they just bring back Broadchurch? I love Broadchurch. David Tennant, Olivia Colman. Come on, you can't beat that.
Now, it's been a while since I brought up any of the Instagram phenomenons that I'm being just bombarded with on whenever I look at Reels. But I have a new one.
What is it? Wait, I'm slightly worried, even if you say it, that my phone's going to hear it. And then now it's going to pop on
It's not,
mine, like your stupid
yeah.
marriage ones that I get all the
So the
time now.
marriage ones are annoying. This one isn't annoying. It just confuses me. Like it just makes me question society a lot, which is it's the attractive women cooking. Like the girls who just cook and they just show you themselves like chopping all the vegetables, telling you what the recipe is. It's sometimes done in a somewhat seductive manner, and it just
What kind of weird fetishes are you into?
this has nothing to do with. I'm gonna. I got a lot of. There's gonna be a lot of listeners who are aware of the type of uh,
Now, this
accounts.
isn't the ones I get that are annoying. I don't think this is what you're talking about. Is the what I eat in a
No, no,
day, and it goes through like, and you're just like, oh my god, look how much they eat in a day, but yet they're so healthy
no.
looking.
It's not that.
Those really
I
annoy
do
me.
see those too, but those are more geared towards the like fitness account thing.
Yeah, that's why I get those a lot.
These are more. It's like a cooking video, but instead of it being someone you would necessarily respect for their cooking ability, they just replace that with an attractive girl who will be like, and then be like spaghetti carbonara, and then like
Now, is it like, is it? Is it like a sports movie where the actor can't play the sport, so they have to zoom in for like the chopping, and it's just like someone else's
no,
definitely different hands doing the
no.
chopping?
I do think it's genuinely the person doing everything. I don't know how, and I think most of the time these are sort of at least started as independent accounts. So the person is probably interested in cooking, but their popularity and success has definitely been driven by how they look and perhaps their willingness to show cleavage while they cook. So it's being intentionally framed, right? Like you're watching them cook, but there is a very noticeable background image, and it just confuses me as to who this like. And when you read the comments, I mean, it just makes you lose faith in humanity because the comments are just a mixture of just horny guys and trolls. Like it's one or the other, like just trying to make a joke out of it, or someone who's genuinely like, DM me, DM me. Like, I want you to show you,
Yeah.
like, who thinks that they're going to read all the comments and be like, wow, this guy really loves how I make my pasta bake, so I better DM him. But
Now, do you think that person who asks to be DM'd, do you genuinely think they think there's some small shot?
yeah,
Are you sure?
yeah. I mean, not every time.
Or is it they just want the attention of someone being like, you're an idiot, she's not going to DM you?
No, they definitely. I mean, put it this way, not to throw Vass under the bus. I'm sure Vass has done that, and I'm sure Vass.
Now, if you're that person, is the game plan you just do that all day to every single video you see like this and see if you can get a hit?
I think you'd be torn because there would be the shotgun approach because you think they're not going to see most of their comments, so you need to be very present if you have any chance of being seen.
Yeah.
But then you also
What's the strike rate on this?
0.
Never. Has never
No.
worked yet.
No, there's no chance.
No.
Sliding into the DMs, maybe. I'm sure that works from time to time. But commenting on a relatively famous person's post with like DM me or like that, oh, I think I could help you. There's a lot of people too offering help, as if this person who has a pretty, a channel with like an account with 1.5 million Instagram followers is all of a sudden going to be like, do you know what? I do need some help with editing my videos, and I better check the comments to see if someone out there is super skilled. Oh, look, this 16-year-old boy who has 200 followers is definitely going to be the guy who's going to help me grow my channel. Like, that makes perfect sense. Anyway, not as annoying, just kind of weird. The internet will regularly make you question the world at large, and this is one of those that just, I don't know who. The thing I would really like to do is have a deep heart to heart with the person making the content and be like, are you really trying to make useful cooking videos? Or are you just happy to know that this is like wank bank material for some pervs out there on Instagram? Like like which way do you deep down when you put your head on your pillow at night, do you think to yourself, another great cooking video went out there, I bet you people are going to love that recipe? Or my breasts look great in that shirt, that one's going to go viral?
I'm going to say no comment.
I'm leaning towards option B.
In a similar vein, I saw a cooking video yesterday where a group teamed with Gordon Ramsay to make the Guinness Book of World Records largest beef Wellington. How many pounds or kilos do you think the beef Wellington was?
I mean, it doesn't, I wouldn't think it had to be that big to break the world record, because it's just, how determined, it's such an obscure one. I'll say, you want it in pounds or kilos? Which one do you?
Either one.
I'll go, I think they're going to make it big just to try and, I'll go 20 kilos.
25 kilos.
It's big, for sure.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, if it's obviously not a single piece of beef, does it?
So they take multiple pieces of filet mignon and then they use like this meat glue that's like a super dangerous glue. You're like, it's like, because it like just binds proteins together, so you can't get it on you or like in your lungs and stuff. So they use that to make one giant piece of meat, and then they go from there.
They missed basically a real opportunity to just fuse Gordon Ramsay with a beef Wellington. Just have him just off his forehead, just have 12 inches of beef Wellington just poking out.
Yeah, it looked pretty good because they first cooked it sous vide, so it actually was cooked, because obviously if you put that just in an oven, there's no way you're cooking through before your puff pastry's burnt to a crisp. So they kind of like pre-cooked it a little bit, and then Gordon Ramsay was blown away. He said it tasted amazing.
Don't know. Other last little piece of news I've got. Did you see the American tourists who were arrested for falling asleep on the Eiffel Tower the other day?
No.
Yeah, 2 drunk American tourists on their way down the stairs of the Eiffel Tower climbed over some section. I can't quite visualize exactly where it is they went. But there's a sort of part of the way down, I suppose. There's an access that's only supposed to be available to staff and security, and they climbed over that bit and then just drunkenly fell asleep. I think they're making out that they drunkenly fell asleep. I think we can't rule out the possibility that the original goal was to stay overnight on the Eiffel Tower, but they're definitely playing it off well, that they were just drunk and being stupid, which is believable. And they then had to be rescued because they couldn't
get back to the stairs.
Yeah. And so they were then rescued, so that they supposedly will have they were late Sunday night when they did this, because they only started going up the Eiffel Tower at about 10:40 at night. So it would have been close to when the Eiffel Tower kind of shuts down. And then they were rescued at about 6 o'clock in the morning, with Paris prosecutors saying they appear to have got stuck because of how drunk they were, was the official statement. But that wouldn't be a place for me. I'd particularly want to be stuck.
Yeah, that'd be scary. I couldn't do that. I mean, I've never been up to the Eiffel Tower, so the thought of the stairs make me nervous.
So I can't do the elevator because I've got my mild elevator phobia. So I've been to the second floor because you can climb that. So I've done the stairs, but to go to the top, you need to use the elevator. And whilst I've worked hard on my elevator phobia over the last 20 or so years, that's too much for me. Like, I legitimately don't think I could live in New York. Like, the idea of regularly having to go, dozens of stories up in an elevator would just be, I think, pretty much unmanageable for me.
That's weird.
Yeah, elevators
I
really
didn't know you
bug.
had an elevator issue.
It's not major. I mean, you've definitely ridden in elevators with me, and it doesn't like bother me. But the idea of being very high in an elevator or in certain I hate an elevator that I can see out of. That's I do
Oh
not like that.
yeah, I don't like that either.
Whereas I'm very happy to be on a stairwell that I can see out of. Like I can,
I don't
if you
like that.
took me out of the elevator and just put me in the stairs, it doesn't bother
So
me. But the elevator
okay,
does.
so then if you, oh okay, that's kind of strange. So if you were just like going up to the 100th floor of a building,
So if you
you'd
told
be
me,
you wouldn't like the elevator ride up, but then if you got to the 100th floor and it
wouldn't
was
bother,
like floor to ceiling windows.
I'd be okay. I wouldn't be someone who wants to sort of stand right up against the window, gazing out into the world necessarily.
Okay.
But I wouldn't feel uncomfortable being on that floor. Like if you told me I have to make it to the top of the Empire State Building and I have unlimited time, I would much rather walk than take the elevator. Like the elevator is going to bother me. I'm going to feel genuinely uncomfortable in that elevator ride. I can do it, but I would feel uncomfortable. And that's in part both based on the fear of the elevator falling, which, whilst I know is unrealistic, it bothers me. But I've also been trapped in elevators, and that was just such an awful experience that I want to avoid that. And the first time I got trapped in an elevator in Paris once for like 2.5 hours. And that was because I was going to the floor of someone's apartment to meet them. And I wasn't sure which floor I was on. So I knew I was supposed to meet them on the fifth floor. And I knew I was either on the fourth floor or the fifth floor. I kind of zoned out while I was walking up. And there was no labeling of the floors in the building. And so I thought what I'll do is I'll definitely walk down one floor and then get in the elevator, hit 5, and no matter what, I'm either going up one floor or 2 floors. I got into the elevator, hit go up. It went like halfway up between the 2 floors and stopped. And then I was stuck for 2.5 hours. The fire department had to come. They had to like manually crank the elevator up to the next floor, which was absolutely terrifying.
And then you didn't want to get out.
I wanted to get out as fast as possible. It was glass, so I could see everything that was going on. And also the person who I was meeting kind of came out. It was not a pleasant experience.
You're reading the firefighter's lips. He's like, I don't know if he's going to make it.
Now, the most terrifying point of it was the first thing you know, you call the emergency button on the elevator. And that just put me through to someone in the building who was not in any way part of a sort of security, was not qualified to be dealing with an emergency in the elevator. I'll put it that way. And they just came and verified that what I was saying was true. So they just like walked up to the elevator like, oh yeah, you are stuck. And then said, I'll just try and press a lot of the buttons for a while and see if that gets you to go. And I was like, I do not like this. Like no. I do not like some random idiot just bashing buttons on every floor, hoping that this
I think there's a master switch on the roof. Let me go check.
Yeah. And then after about 30 minutes, they said, wait, we think we got to call the fire department. And yeah, I mean, it was not enjoyable. Relatively straightforward, but was not enjoyable. Being cranked up like 3-4 inches at a time in an elevator is not Did
pleasant. You establish a bathroom corner?
It wasn't that bad. As you know, I've got a pretty big bladder, so I was fine. No emergencies were had. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much everything I've got.
Yeah, well, I guess with that, we'll have to call it a day.
Yeah.
All right, talk to you later.
See ya.
Cheerio.